Well, there you all are, and welcome in once again to a rockin' awesome night here at the Six Screens up here in Boston. Well, we call it the apostate capital of the world. And a lot of you people say, well, Rick, you are so lucky to be around all these apostates. Well, don't you worry. I tell you every week that wherever you are in the Midwest, down in the Southeast, up in the Northwest quadrant, and anywhere around the world, don't you worry. You're going to be in good company shortly. There's more and more people leaving the Watchtower. Well, my name is Rick Farron, and I am glad to tell you that we have been doing this program for going on 20 years, never missed a Saturday night. We are here because you are here. Many people rely on this program. It's really the only, well, there's a few others now coming on, but it's a live interactive program. We were the first to really start doing that. And, you know, people love to talk in real time. They love to come in and talk to people and that have been touched, as we say, by the tentacles of the Watchtower. So, you know, don't be afraid to come in tonight. I'm going to give you some information. Now, if you're on YouTube and you look in the description box, you'll find a link. If you want to come on our StreamYard platform, if you hit that link, that'll automatically bring you into the program. Now, you say, well, Rick, I don't want to be on video. I don't have my makeup on. My hair's not combed. I'll look like a nut. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be seen. If you just want to hit StreamYard, you'll come backstage. You're not going to be on live at that point. I can see you. I can make sure that your camera is not going to work, and we can just hear you. So if you ever thought or if you had the feelings like you'd like to speak up on the Six Screens, I mean, there's two ways you can do it. You can call in on the telephone line. I'll put that number up as well. Or you can now hit that link, and that'll bring you directly in. If you want to even come on camera, you can do that. So by all means, check that link out. You'll see it in the description box on YouTube. So check that out. Well, you see the duck. You see the duck up here. I'll point to him. That's him up here. See him? There he is. Now, that duck, I'll tell you, that duck is getting very anxious. He's quacking away. If you hear this quacking sound, if you hear that quacking sound, that means you said the secret word. We have actually 5 secret words tonight, and we want to give away some beautiful books. We get some beautiful books that our good friend Nathan Natus has sent us. And some of them are actually reprinted Watchtower art books, like the Millions Now Living book. And then some exposés, narratives exposing the witnesses. So anyways, what we'll do is if you can say the secret word when you call up, either on a telephone line or you call in on our StreamYard video line, then you can answer the questions, or just as you're talking, if you say the secret word, that duck will come down and give you a free book. And at the end of the program, we'll let people know. We'll open the sealed envelope and we'll let people know what the secret words are. So stay with us. We have a lot of fun with that program, or that game, so to speak. Okay, still alive in 2025. My goodness, we are looking so forward to that convention. We do have it booked. We are going to have the first ex-Jehovah's Witness convention ever. Now, there are meetups, there are protests, but this is a convention. And we have just about 200 people that want to come, and we're still 17 months out. Now, the convention is going to be August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2025, not 2024. It's next year, 2025. So if you would like to in any way be part of that program, the tickets are free. And all you have to do is staying at the Hilton Hotel in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. The Hilton Hotel in Tewksbury, Massachusetts is called the Hilton Gardens. If you want to go ahead and block your room, we have a number of 100 rooms blocked. But if you want to make a reservation, don't put all the money down, maybe just a small deposit. But give them a small deposit, and they'll book the room. You might not even have to give a deposit. So book the room and say, I want a room. Now, I'm going to give you an idea. I got some information this week. I'll tell you how much the rooms are going to be. The rooms are going to be $175 a night. Now you're going, whoa, friends, this isn't, Motel 6. And even Motel 6 is up like at $140, $150 a night. But here's what you got. They're giving us these rooms, and I know it's a little pricey, but I mean, this is a brand new facility. But here's the kicker. That is going to give you breakfast for two. Now, it's not one of these continental, Danish muffin, cup of coffee, and a cup of orange juice breakfast. That this is a real breakfast, a sit-down breakfast that you'll really like. The breakfast, if you went in and off the street and said, I'm going to have breakfast at the Hilton this morning, well, that breakfast would cost you $18. But they said, Rick, you book the rooms, we'll let people have the breakfast for $7.50 a piece. Friends, you can't even buy an Egg McMuffin meal at McDonald's for that. So that's included in the room rate at $175, breakfast for two. And you can eat all you want. You might not even want to eat lunch after you have the breakfast. I mean, I'm impressed. I took a look at it the other day. It's really good, really good. So just give you a heads up, if you want some tickets, jwworldnews@gmail.com. That's where you want to write me, jwworldnews@gmail.com. Now, I just want to say one thing. Don't make a comment on YouTube that you want to come. I'll never see those comments, or on Facebook. If you want to come, that was the email, and then I can keep it all in order. But I got people mailing me on different websites that we have. I got people that are commenting on Facebook and YouTube. Rick, I want tickets. Do it at jwworldnews@gmail.com. Now, we have room for about 500 people. That's it. So only about 350 will be able to sit in the main auditorium, but we have an overflow room, and we'll have a monitor there, and you can look in. It's adjacent to the conference room. So we got room for about 500 people. So be the first on the list, and you'll get a ticket so you can sit in the main auditorium. And we're trying to get, don't hold me to it, but we're trying to get some really big name people here. I'm working on it. I'll know as we go along in the next year or so who's going to come. But I'm trying to get all the high profile apostates that you can think of. People that are opposing the Watchtower. I'm just going to throw a couple of names out. I mean, don't hold me to it. But I'm trying to get a hold of. In fact, this week we're going to be talking with Erwin Zalkin. He's the lawyer that works with the Jehovah's Witness people that have been sexually abused, and he's been helping them. I'm going to try to get him to come to the conference, and I'm trying to get him even on the program here at the Six Screens on a Saturday night. Well, wouldn't you love to have Paul Grundy? You say, Paul Grundy? Well, he's the man. He is a smart guy. I'm not kidding you. He has JW Facts. Now, what you tell me a better website than JW Facts? There is none. JW Facts is the premier. That's the website you go to when you're trying to work your way out of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm trying to get Paul Grundy. I know Paul was just married recently, but we'll make it worth his while. And what we're trying to do here, friends, if anyone has an idea, like I got a message the other day, a person's going to book a room, but they said they had an extra bed. So, they're looking for someone that might like to share that bed with them. And, maybe you could share the cost of the room as well. So if the room is $175 a night, well, maybe you could throw in, $80 or so. And that would help the situation. So, sharing rooms, sharing rides. As we go further downstream, we'll talk about it. But if you can make it to the convention, you will really enjoy yourself. You will be hitting your head on the doorpost on the way out. You are going to feel 10 feet high. And the reason why I know that, now that protest they had in Washington, D.C. on Halloween Day, they had 223 people there. That was a protest. Friends, a lot of people don't like protesting, but I saw after that protest was over, a lot of the ex-witnesses were hugging and getting email addresses and telephone names. That was so enlightening for all of the ex-witnesses to be able to meet each other like that. So that gave me the idea. That's where this idea of an ex-witness convention even came from, and saying, wow, people would love it and they'd love to come. And when I first even mentioned it, people were saying, Rick, book me in. I'm coming to the convention. So see what you can do. See what you can do to come to the Still Alive in 25 Jehovah's Witness Convention. All right. So One other question, one other thing I want to mention too. Now, we have people have been sending books out. Some people might have already got them. But if you win books here on the 6 screens, you got to do this for me. You got to send your snail mail address to me, where you live, so I can mail them to you. And, don't assume that I know it or I sent Rick a card before. He should know it. Help me out here, because, finding addresses and finding the cards that people have sent me is very hard to keep on track of all of that. So if you win a prize, send me your physical address, send it to jwworldnews@gmail.com, and then I can send you the books, and there's no problem, because, I'm getting books back. You get books back. What good is that? It costs you the money to send them. So please give me a physical address, and then you'll make sure you get your books. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what's going on behind the curtains of the Watchtower. Well, before we do that, I just want to mention one thing too. I know I got a billion things I'm trying to mention to everybody, but coming on somewhere around 8 o'clock tonight, maybe a little later than that, we have Jimmy Bell. Now, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Jimmy Bell did a YouTube video of him and John, his cohort, going to the memorial, the Jehovah's Witness memorial. And oh my goodness, what a great job he did there. And it's a well looked at, viewed video. So he's going to come on and talk about it. There's a circuit overseer on that video that I really want you to see. I want you to at least hear what the circuit overseer had to say. So Jimmy Bell is going to be coming on with us. He'll be coming on somewhere around 8 o'clock tonight. So just stay tuned. Did someone want to say something? Go ahead. Maybe not. All right.
Brother Fearon.
Yeah, hold on, Larry. Let's go with the fellow that came on first. Go ahead. Who was that came on before Larry?
This is Thomas Hodgson, Lawrence, Kansas.
Yes, Thomas.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Rick. Yeah. Oh, I just got curious. Just let us know when we start to send a deposit for that room. I don't know. I want to get in there as quick as I can, on the room deposit, get it, reserved.
Yeah, we'll get a hold of the, I should have the address up there. It's the Hilton Hotel, the Hilton Garden Hotel, they actually call it. And it's in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. TEWKSBURY, Tewksbury, Massachusetts. And they're ready. They're ready. I talked to the people, so they're starting to book people already. So go ahead, Thomas. Like I say, don't give them a whole lot, but you just give them what's necessary, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's a Hilton Garden Hotel.
Yeah.
Hotel.
You'll see it right there. Just punch it in. It'll come right up. Yep.
Okay, I'll definitely Google that up. Do that. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Okay, Larry, what's on your mind?
Hello, Rick.
Yeah.
Brother Fearon.
Yes.
Larry. This is Larry calling you from.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me just mute a couple of people. You got a lot of people coming on here tonight, Larry. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay, calling you from the state of New Jersey. I just want to make just a couple brief comments, but important comments, I think. First of all, I want to thank you very, very much for arranging this wonderful XJW convention and all the time, effort, and work that you're going to put into it. I want you to know that there is definitely somebody out here that really thanks you for it and appreciates what you're doing. Also, I was thinking about maybe what can an average person do to help you out, to assist in this endeavor for this wonderful convention. What can I do? So last night I was thinking about it, and it was late at night, and you'll never guess what happened to me. Do you recall, it's in the literature somewhere, where Joe Rutherford himself said that the angels from Jehovah God, the angels from Jehovah, came to Joe Rutherford and put thoughts right in his mind, right in his head, and that's where he got a lot of his ideas for the JW doctrines that he would put in print. Well, guess what happened to me? The same exact thing happened to me late last night. I was sitting around, and the angels came to me, and they put some thoughts, suggestion in my head what I can do to help out. Now, to get the message across to me, guess what song they started to play for me? None other than the Village People song, YMCA. And you know, there's one line in there, one very important line in that song, the YMCA song, famous popular song. It says, that line says this: no man does it all by himself. And that means you, Brother Fearon. You can't do it all by yourself. You shouldn't. Maybe you should have a little bit of help. So I was told by the angels to try to make a visit up there in Massachusetts, to come up sometime to see you in person and to talk to you. And they said the best time to do it, and this is what I want to ask you for, if this is a good idea or a bad idea, and you can honestly tell me, that isn't it true that each and every summertime convention, and even other times, you make it a point to do a nice big fancy protest in front of the convention? Is that correct?
Oh yeah, no, we'll be doing the protest too. We'll be in July of 2024. We're going to have protests coming up at these up in Lowell, Massachusetts. Yep.
Oh, okay, well that's what I wanted to ask you. So, with your permission, and later on when we find out the dates of the convention, I want to make a trip up there for that occasion. So when you're having a protest in front of the convention, and like you said, July this year, I want to be there with you, with holding some important signs with you and helping you with the protest. And at the same time, maybe I'll come up a day early. I'll have a chance to talk to you and get acquainted and so on and so forth. Do you agree? Would that be a good idea?
Oh yeah, no, and listen, I'm always looking for people to come protest, Larry. So yeah, let's go with that. So, you know, we'll keep you posted, listening to the 6 screens. I'll tell you when the dates are. We'll be protesting, but I'd love to have you come up here and protest with us. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, okay. And Brother Fearon, one final thing. I'll leave you with this. Maybe, just maybe, I'm going to have something with me, something that I can give you to help you and to assist you with the effort in this convention. It would be my honor and privilege to give you a little something to help with the cause.
Well, Larry, that's nice. You want to do that, but you know, I never ask people. I'm doing this on my own dime. This is how important it is to me. I never ask people for any money. I really, this is so important to me, to be able to get the message out, to be able to have ex-witnesses come together. We just had a man on earlier who was a cutter. He would cut himself because the Watchtower was driving him crazy. We have people who have been hurting so badly because of the Watchtower. So I really appreciate your efforts, and I certainly would put it to good use in trying to help other people. But, you know, I never solicit for money, but I thank you for your feelings. Yes.
Well, finally, let me say this. I appreciate what you said. You certainly have a kind and generous attitude with you, about you. I appreciate it. And finally, let me say this. One of the signs that we can make for the convention protest is a quote from I forgot his name now, Mark Twain. Mark Twain. Do you know what Mark Twain said?
You tell us what he said, then we're going to move to the next caller. Go ahead. You let us know what he said, then we're going to move on. Yeah, go ahead. What do you say?
Let me just finish up real quick. Mark Twain said, "It's not what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you know for sure that can hurt you." Thank you, Brother Fearon. All the best.
Well, thank you, Larry. Always good to hear from Larry. Let's bring on, we got, it looks like Gilbert Gonzalez. We're going to bring him on screen. Let's add him to the stage here. Hello, Gilbert. We now have you on with us on StreamYard. And boy, I'm glad you're the first guy that took up this opportunity to do it. Thank you, Gilbert.
Yeah. Always trying to help you out wherever we can. Hey, listen, Rick, Jesse and I, we've been talking about this you've been working for 20 years doing this, but at some point, think about what you've been doing. You've been working. What man works for 20 years, the ground, right? And not harvest? And I think when all the comments that you're saying about all of the people leaving, Jesse and I were talking about how this is not our regular apostate time. This is harvest time that we're seeing with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now's the time to be focusing on the harvest. And the other thing too is this. There was a real famous broadcaster that says that people think history started the day they were born. We forget about history of the past. And this is very important because Watchtower is giving people dispensing freedoms. You don't have to turn in your time card, beard, so forth. Well, what happens in the Soviet Union in our lifetime, remember when Gorbachev was trying to play, when his country was already dead, nobody wanted the ruble, they weren't manufacturing anything. He needed to bring in a little bit of capitalism and he needed to bring in revenue. He started giving freedom. But Rick, freedom is contagious. And one thing we know is that George Washington said that freedom, when it takes root, it's a plant of rapid growth. Once you taste freedom, Rick, there's no going back. That tree is going to grow. And it destroyed the Union Soviet Socialist Republics. So this is how powerful freedom is, that we all agree that the governing body are tyrants. But they're stupid tyrants, because what tyrant would dispense freedom to the serfs? It's only going to backfire, and they're going to want more of it. And that's what, when you're talking about all of these people leaving and calling you, and you're seeing it's a direct result of more free. So we can actively predict that the more conscience decision stuff that Watchtower comes out with, the more liberties that Watchtower gives its members, that's going to be like crack to a cocaine addict. And the floodwaters are going to be coming out. I mean, what do you think?
Well, it seems to be happening, Gilbert. This is really remarkable. After doing this program for going on 20 years, it wasn't like this. It really, really wasn't. In the early years and even 10 years ago, we weren't getting any points on the scoreboard. People weren't leaving like they are now. This is absolutely, I couldn't even dream this would ever happen the way it is. This is, years ago, I had such a hard time even getting people to call into the program. But now I get so many people coming in. It looks like the New York Stock Exchange ticket tape on the business channel,
Rick, you said it about the scoreboard. Rick Farron is our Caitlin Clark. Anybody that's been following Caitlin Clark with women's basketball, with the scoring, you're the Caitlin Clark, and it's true. And Jesse and I were talking about this is the harvest. Now I really think this is a time to harvest for all of the work that everybody's been doing.
Well said. I agree with you, Gilbert. Well, thank you very much. Always good to see Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you for coming in. The first to come in on StreamYard like this. Yes, go ahead. You're on with us. Go ahead.
Hello, Rick.
Yes.
It's Steve Rose from the UK.
Yeah, Steve from the UK. Boy, I'm so glad to hear from you. What's up, Steve?
I'm just been in touch with Andy, celebrating his birthday, today. I'm just worried in case he lost his head, that's all.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. That you had a really good thick accent. It sounds wonderful, but come back again with what you said.
Randy.
Oh, Randy. Are you with Randy?
No, I am, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
I know Randy. He's trying to play a joke on us of some type.
It's his birthday, and we're having a little convention of our own.
And I didn't lose my head.
He didn't lose his head
at all.
He didn't.
Not like John Baxter.
So you're here in You're here in the United States, Steve, huh?
Oh, in the UK.
He's in the UK.
Oh, you're calling in from the UK. Oh, Randy's in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he flew his plane over there, did he?
We're just pushing your leg.
It's okay.
We're here. We're here in the United States.
Yes, Randy.
Well, if we happen to stumble and hit that secret word, that special word, instead of getting those books sound marvelous, but instead of that for a gift, my wife wants to get that big rubber ducky you got for a gift.
She likes that rubber ducky. I'll tell you what, that rubber ducky.
Oh yeah,
that rubber ducky.
She collects them.
Well, I'll tell you what. If she says a secret word, I'll get a rubber duck just like that. Yeah. That's a bit.
Hey, we're gonna go. We're gonna go see. We're gonna go see another XJ. We got a bunch group with us right now. They're in the room listening to your show.
Yeah.
But we won't. We'll listen to all of it because we're getting ready to go see another ex Jehovah's Witness. You might have heard of him.
Who was that?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson. Well, I mean, what are you going to the
Yeah.
grave? What are you going to the graveyard or what?
No, it's famous impersonator doing a tour that he did over in Europe. And what year? 92? What was it called? The Dangerous Tour. The Dangerous Tour.
Well,
it
boy,
wasn't ever done in the United States.
Well, I hope you guys really enjoy yourself. That sounds like it's pretty fantastic. Boy, that'll be wonderful.
We'll tell him. Well, thanks. We'll tell him you asked about him.
Yeah, we'll say hello to the people that are there with you too. And boy, I always love to hear from Steve and you too, Randy. You're two good guys.
Thanks. You have a good.
Well, you guys be good.
Bye-bye.
Be safe, and thank you for coming into the Six Screens tonight. Thank you very much. All right. Well, there you go. That's Randy and Steve Rose. Excellent people. Okay, we get 940. Did 940 want to say something? You're on with us, 940.
Can you hear me, Rick?
Yeah, we can. We can hear you. Who is that? Who is that? Is that Debbie?
This is Becky. I just wanted to, since it's your news program, I've got a little bit of news.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay. After I spoke with you last Sunday, on Tuesday night, the 9th, on CBS Evening News, they showed a big, tall, brown building in New York City, and the woman that was doing the interview, she said, standing in this beautiful labyrinth lobby. She said that they got it from the Jehovah's Witnesses, quote unquote, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then they proceeded saying what the people that bought it, what they're going to do with it. But the inside was like the Stanley. You know what they did to the Stanley, if anybody's been there.
Oh, yeah.
It was just elaborate lobby. And I think the woman that bought it's going to be helping some homeless people and stuff like that. But she said, my guy helped me write this down. They had like 183 apartments. And like I was asking him 3 times if he was sure about this number. They already have 163,000 applications.
163,000?
That's what's going on. I said, are you sure? You sure they didn't say 1630, or something? He goes, nope. And I said, okay, don't hold me to that. But I heard her say 183 apartments, but it's a building I haven't seen on the news yet or anything. It's a tall brown building, has white on the bottom, but it's got an elaborate lobby. So whatever they're thinking, I don't know, but I hope somebody looks this up. They can probably check it out. Just punch it into YouTube. But there's something there that's on the news that they can see. Yeah, they're selling their buildings. And if they're going to be getting this much and so many people are interested, just think of how much money they sold it for.
Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you, Becky. My goodness, always good to hear from you. And thank you for coming in
Thank you.
and giving us that news. Thank you. Maybe someone has more insight on that.
No, I'm just watching the TV. I do need to know, though, when you want me to call in, because I would love to talk to Barb, because I need to ask her some stuff. But I've got some important things to talk about personally.
Well, Barbara Anderson, you mean? Yeah. Well, she's coming on next week. She comes on at 5:40, about 6 o'clock next week. Why don't you dial in somewhere around almost 8 o'clock, and she'll be able to talk a little bit to you and give her the information.
Okay, Saturday?
Yeah, next Saturday, yep.
Okay, that's great. If anybody else has any more talk shows going on tonight with you, Rick, I'm going to hang out.
All right. Well,
but I really wanted you to be around when I told the first part of something very important.
Well,
just let me know.
Would you like to? Well, would you like to come on a program tomorrow and give us your little story about being the Watchtower? You don't have to say everything that you don't want to say?
No, I'm just going to say something that's prudent for this day and time.
All right. Well, we'll do that, Becky. Well, thank you. Thank you for being the lady you are, and don't you ever change, okay? Thank you, Becky.
I'm not.
Okay.
Just for the good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Thank you, Becky. All right. Well, we're on 6 screens of the Watchtower, JW World News. We got Jimmy Bell coming up here very shortly. But before we go, we do have a man coming in. His name is Bobby. We got him in Streamline. We're going to bring Bobby on right now. Hello, Bobby.
How you doing? I talked to you before, Rick. Remember me?
Yeah, Bobby, I remember you. Yeah. So what's on your mind, Bobby?
Well, like you guys were saying that, I think some of those songs sound like Christmassy anyway. They're crazy. They don't think it sounds Christmassy to them. I think it does. And
Well,
then
we're gonna talk about that right next. That's our next story, is talking about that Christmas. People want to hear that, Bobby. So, do you think it's a Christmas song?
yes, I do. And then also, I was so happy that guess who got kicked out of the government body? Good old Tony Morris got kicked out of the.
Yeah. Well, that is exactly right, Bobby. My goodness. Well, I'm so glad you could come on here tonight. So I know that's on your mind, the song. So I want you to hang in here with us.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play a little bit of that song so you can hear it, and then we can let the audience think. Let them kind of see if they think it's Christmassy. But geez, good to see you again, Bobby. I like that New York hat. The Yankees are doing good this year, so hopefully, keep up the good.
Red Sox.
All right, thank you, Bobby. Thank you for coming on and saying hello to us. We got another lady that wants to come on. Looks like Nadine. Let's bring Nadine on. Hello, Nadine.
Hi, Rick. How's it going?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you, Nadine.
Good. Yes, I wanted to talk about that Christmas song also. I emailed you, so I don't know if you got it, but it was about the song.
Yeah. Why don't you hang in here with us? And I want to get your commentary on it. You just hang in here with us. I'm just going to bring you out a solo screen here, and you hang in here with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to play a little portion of that song. I want the audience to hear the song. I'll give the lyrics, and I believe that what it is. Let me first of all say this. I don't want to jump the gun here, but this week it was released a new song by the Watchtower, and the song sounds very Christmassy. Is the Watchtower going to celebrate Christmas? Is this going to be one of the new changes that they make? I mean, this is what a lot of people are saying. But let's see if we can't get that song on here right now. Let me just see if I can get it up here. Just give us a second. And like to play it for you. Just got to get it here. Let's see. Where are you? Okay, over here. So this is, I'm going to play a portion of this song. Let me share the screen here, first of all. Let me go back. We got Nadine on with us, and she's going to make some comments on the song when you guys hear it. But I want you to hear the song, and then I want you guys to see if you think it sounds Christmassy. Now, I'm not going to give you my opinion until you guys speak up first, but I'm going to share the screen. So let's do that right now. Let's see if you guys think this song sounds Christmassy. Let me get it up here. Let me share it, make it bigger. All right, let's play the song. You can hear it. If you're on our radio network, you'll hear it all over the place. So here we go.
Above, good news for all men. When God's Son arrived in Bethlehem, hope for those who mourn, a Savior has been born. Good news, joy for all mankind. Praise is life. Good news is good news. Preach with all your might. Good news, Christ is born. The way, the truth, the life. He will reign for righteousness. Peace he will provide. Jesus is the way to endless life. Truth he will defend. His kingdom will not.
Well, we'll end it there. I mean, it goes on for another couple of minutes, but you get the idea. You get the gist of it all. To me, it sounds like a Christmas song. The lyrics are very Christmassy. So let's bring on Nadine. Let me stop sharing this, and let's bring Nadine back on with us. She wants to make some comments. Well, there she is. That's Nadine on the California. Hello, Nadine. So what do you think, Nadine? Tell us what you think about that song.
Okay. I do think it's very Christmassy, and there's a couple of points I want to make. They talk about Bethlehem, and that's very Christmassy, just saying that Jesus, Bethlehem. And I think they say Jesus arrived in Bethlehem. And there's no real mention of Jehovah. They say Jah, but they do not say the word Jehovah. They do not say the name Jehovah. And they're just praising Jesus, and that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I've never heard that before, being a witness for all those years that I was raised a witness. And they're giving Jesus so much credit in this, and just putting Jehovah on the back burner, way, way in the back burner, if at all. So I don't know what's going to be happening. And this is coming out at the convention. I don't know what people are going to think about this.
Well, let me ask you this now, Nadine. Now, I want you to put your thinking cap on here for a second. Now, when you first heard this, what's the first thing that popped in your mind? I want to hear the first thing that popped in your mind.
Okay, the word Bethlehem. When they mentioned Bethlehem, I think so. Because they don't talk about Jesus, being born in Bethlehem. They downgraded Jesus for years, ever since Rutherford came on the scene. Because in the beginning with Russell, it was all about Jesus, and they believed that Jesus basically was God, basically, from what I know about Russell. And then Rutherford's the one that changed it to Jehovah's Witnesses. I think it was in 1931, I believe. And so they just really didn't mention Jesus very much at all, and downgraded Jesus to Michael the Archangel. And now they're putting Jesus right front and center and not mentioning Jehovah. So it sounds like they're going to be worshiping Jesus now.
Well, the first thing, I mean, you thought about Christmas. Does it sound like a Christmas song to you?
Right. The Bethlehem. It reminds me of Christmas. Yeah.
Now, would you think, Nadine, that I'm just thinking out loud here, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but do you think they're now moving in a direction perhaps to celebrate Christmas?
That's what it looks like to me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, you hang in here with us. Let's bring some more people on here. Get their thoughts on it. But you
Hey,
stay
Rick.
right where you are.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're on with us, Jeffrey. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I'll tell you what, in the late 80s, early 90s, they told me Saint Nick stood for Satan. and that does sound like a Christmas song. Now, I'll tell you what, I can believe that they would start celebrating Christmas just to get new people in, because that's really, in my area where I'm at in the central part of the United States, I mean, that's just appalling to say, yeah, we don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, it's really celebrated here amongst other religions, and that would really turn somebody off coming in. That's what I got to say there.
All right, well, that's your thoughts. So you think that could be happening? We'll see what happens with that. Okay, who else is on? With, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely feel that it has a Christmas overtone to it. I remember the song from Christendom, "O Little Town of Bethlehem," and that's what hit me at first. But I know what they're doing. They're going to ease the congregations into Christmas, and they're going to say, well, you know, it's no longer a disfellowshipping offense if you celebrate Christmas. And they're just going to ease everybody into it. That's their game plan. They want people celebrating Christmas.
Well, tell me.
A little at a time.
Well, Dick, I mean, let me ask you this. Why does the Watchtower, in your way of thinking, why do they want people celebrating Christmas?
Well, because people love to get with their relatives and so forth, and a lot of their relatives are not Jehovah's Witnesses, and this moratorium on Thanksgiving and Christmas, well, lots of birthdays and so forth. They're just trying to ease people into it, and it will be no longer disfellowshipping, just like the blood thing. It's going to be a matter of conscience. That's how they're going to sell it. First off, just a matter of conscience. Then it won't be disfellowshipping, and then they're going to go little by little, mainstream as they can, and they hope the old guard dies off, and they start off with brand new policies and brand new doctrines from Jehovah God himself. Thank you, Rick.
Well, thank you, Dick. No, the way that I look at it, with all of these changes, that they have to, in order to attract new people, they've got to let up on some of their strict rules in the past. They've got to. No one's going to want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses if you can't celebrate a birthday or you can't celebrate Christmas or any of this stuff. That's why all these changes are taking place. Dick, always good to hear from you. Thank you very much, Dick. Appreciate it. All right. I just want to mention, if anyone else would like to call in, and what do you think? You think that song was kind of Christmassy?
Hey, Rick?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Scott from Florida.
Yes, Scott.
My very first reaction to it was that it sounded like a Disney production that you would hear in some cartoon that they would be having, maybe a Christmas cartoon, I don't know. But, there's always a character in there that sings some sort of very grand theme song, and that's exactly the way this came across to me. I also find that it seems to be, and I'm no musician by any means, but it seems like a very complicated song. So I wonder how easy or how well the brothers and sisters could even begin to sing it. And I used to enjoy some of the songs. They at least were kind of catchy, and they had very simple lyrics. You could even find yourself thinking about them, singing about them, at times when you're out in service or whatever, it is you're doing. But this isn't that type of song, The lyrics aren't catchy. It's not going to be something easily remembered or mastered by the brothers and sisters. So I think it's horrible, in my opinion. I just think it's way overblown, overcomplicated for them. So that was my thought. It's a cartoon production song,
Yeah. What's of interest here is, this concern with Jesus, as Nadine was saying earlier. They never really praised Jesus like that. It was always Jehovah or Jehovah the Great, but they never really praised Jesus. Now we have a song that primarily is all about Jesus. This is something new, right?
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I'm not impressed with it. But that was my initial
well,
thought.
don't you think? I mean, I was listening to it's really the word. I'm going to use. I don't know if it's such a word or not, but I'm going to use the word Disney-esque. It has that, like you mentioned, it has that Disney sound to it. And I do know they do have an executive that did work with Disney in a pretty high capacity that now is working for the Watchtower. So maybe some of that influence from Disney is moving into the Watchtower platform, because really there's a lot of songs. I mean, I thought it was a little catchy, but anyway.
It seemed complicated to me, the way that at least the way the person that was singing it.
Yeah.
It came across like there's a lot of pauses, and the way he had to change his tempo, and I don't know. I just felt like it sounded like a complicated song to sing. That's all.
Well,
and the friends, let's face it, most of us were not musical. Some of the friends aren't that good as singers. So I don't know how that one's going to sound.
Well, thank you. Thank you for weighing in with us. I really do appreciate it. Okay, I think we just had Kim on there. Kim, you want to come back? I think you dropped off. If you'd like to speak up, now is the time to do it. What do you think?
I do.
Oh, yes. Like to hear what you have to say, Kim. Go ahead.
Well, there was one thing I was thinking. They have the new, I think they're making a movie about Jesus. So I'm wondering if they're doing it also for that. So that, because they're making, I don't know if it's his life story or I don't know exactly, but I know there's something to do with Jesus that they've been talking about that they're doing. But the odd thing is the recent, I think it's the monthly, I don't know what you call it, monthly talk or something, update, I don't know what they call it. Brother Splain was talking about the Magi, but he said that Satan was sending them and all this kind of stuff. And so that was odd if they are doing that, because they're putting this Satan in there. And so, I wondered what you thought about that. But that's about all I was going to say, those two factors.
Well, Kim, thank you for weighing in here tonight. Always good to hear from you. You're a woman that makes herself very clear. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Kim.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Rick, can I just say one more thing, and then I'm probably going to go. But
yeah, go ahead, Nadine. Yeah,
okay.
I want to be on here with me.
I really think they're going back to the beginning, because if you think about it, the Beards came back, and so we're going back to Russell, right? Because Russell had a beard, and so I think they're going back to the teachings of Russell. Honestly, that's what I truly believe. They're trying to get away from the Rutherford teachings.
Wow, that is interesting. I haven't heard that before, but that's what's good about the six screens. We can all come in and we can all have our thoughts and our feelings, and that's sensible. I can buy portions of that. Absolutely.
Right.
They got to do something, Nadine. They got to do something. This organization is in dire straits, and I always say it: the monkey died, the circus is over. They can't continue on. They can't.
I just don't know how they're going to explain this away to the older generation, Jehovah's Witnesses, the hardcore ones that are, late 60s, 70s, 80-year-olds with all this Jesus stuff. Since they demoted Jesus and never really, talked about Jesus. Jesus was really not that much. It was just Jehovah all the way through. So I wonder how they're going to explain this away, because this is huge. I feel like this song is huge, in my humble opinion.
Well, I certainly have to agree with you. It certainly was the big buzz all over the internet this week. That's all the ex-witness world was talking about. So I'm with you. It's a Christmas song. And what does that mean? Let's give it some thought. It means that I believe they're moving towards celebrating Christmas. So it's only a matter of time. Nadine, always good to hear from you. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming on the street.
Good to see you, Rick.
Thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that is Nadine. My goodness, isn't that something to have Nadine on with us tonight. Always good to have new ones. Now, look at if someone wants to come on, they can do it. They can hit. Look at the yeah. Go ahead. You're on with us. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, it's Aaron. I just wanted to bring this up. His name escapes me right now, but the host of the Christian Court.
That man. Well, the host. I'm the host, but we have Jay Hess and we have Scott Walton.
Right. Jay Hess. Yes, that's the one. Right. Of course, you're the host, but I mean, the one, he's the one that answers the questions on that program.
Oh yeah.
And he's mentioned numerous times that he was disfellowshipped or just expelled from the organization for what? For worshiping Jesus. And this was like 30 years ago or something like that. And I just thought that was really interesting that now if indeed they do go back to worshiping Jesus, that would basically mean that he should never have been, expelled from the organization, or probably more than likely. I just thought that was so ironic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something. I'm sitting here scratching my head that is not a song that I ever would think the witnesses would sing about. They don't sing about Jesus. Now they mention Jesus in some of their songs, but to have a whole song about Jesus, that's unusual. Yeah.
Yeah, and the song sounds like a mixture of Disney and those, televangelist Christian songs or worldly songs. It sounds like a mixture of all those three to me. And it's just, I just cannot, like Nadine was hinting at, I just cannot see a way to explain away especially the older generation, like my mom and her others, of it just taking this and running with it, except the boiling frog syndrome. That's the only thing that explains it. And that's all I really have to say.
Well, I love to hear from you, Aaron. You would come across as very articulate. I always say that to you. But the thing I wanted to ask you, what's the first thing that popped in your mind when you heard that song?
Well, Christmas, and when I heard Bethlehem, it sounded like a Christmas carol for the first few notes. Yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
It couldn't be any other way, and they're going to be singing that at the convention. And I would even think the witnesses, I mean, they're not, as stupid as the Watchtower thinks they are, but they're going to be, releasing that song and singing it at the convention this summer. And I'm sure the first thing that's going to run through the mind of many witnesses is, wow, that's something. That sounds like a Christmas song to me. Jeez. They're going to be walking out of there with the head shaking, It's unreal. Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much. Always good to hear from you, Aaron. Let's go down to New York City. We got a good friend, Shirley. Hello, Shirley.
Hey, I was wanted to remind you, Rick, like that song definitely sounds like a Christmas song, but remember, they used to celebrate Christmas. Remember that picture, that infamous picture back in the day in Bethel, where they had the Christmas tree in the cafeteria at Bethel? I'm sure you've seen that picture, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So once again, this is a major flip flop because they celebrated back in the day, and now how many years has it been? Like more than 100, or almost 100, and now what? They're going to go back to celebrating again? So it's not really new, is what I'm saying, because they used to celebrate Christmas. So what? Once again?
Well, I didn't think of that, Shirley. Now there you go. You got your thinking cap on tonight. No, I didn't really think of that, but they did celebrate Christmas. So it could be so easy to transition back. That, we now realize that, one time we did, but we got away from it. Now we're coming back again. What goes around comes around, right, Shirley?
Exactly. But they're their biggest flip-flop of all, I would think, if they go back to celebrating Christmas.
Do you think, what if you were still a Jehovah's Witness, Shirley, and all of a sudden the organization came out, now they got to do this in little bits and pieces. They got to be very careful with this, very careful. It's not like a beard thing. The beard thing, they can almost spring on people. So I'm sure the powers to be at Watchtower, they sat down and they thought about all of this stuff before they would do it. And they said, well, let's start with the beards. That's pretty easy. But now if you're going to get into Christmas, we now celebrate Christmas, man, you better have a good story to tell the witnesses, because that's going to be a tough thing to tell them. Really. That's going to be a tough thing.
What,
Yeah.
Rick, like they said with the beard thing, I want to mention my father got baptized. What year was that? 76 or 77, and about a few years after that, they made him an elder. Now, my father, I could look at pictures even before I was born. Not a beard, but he always had a mustache. When he became an elder, all of a sudden I noticed, it just hit me. He shaved it off. One day I'm like, oh, you shaved off your mustache when he was an elder. So elders, because I was speaking to another brother who used to be a Bethelite, and it's kind of like a regional thing. I said, oh, I never heard of that before. Brothers having like the goatee on the chin or the mustache. But I grew up in New York, as you know. My father had to shave his beard, his mustache when he became an elder. And there was also another brother, because some African American men have problems with shaving bumps with beard, on their face. So the only the only way to solve it rather is to grow a short beard. And I remember this brother. I remember him. I was friends with his whole family. He grew a beard, but he had to keep it very, very, very close cropped. Although it was a medical problem, he still couldn't grow a full beard. He had to keep it very, very close cropped because of the JWs did not like beards.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's even a mustache. They got all over your father's case for having a mustache.
Yeah,
even.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Golly sakes. Well, thank you, Shirley. Always glad to have you call into the program. I like it. You had a little bit of spark of life to it all. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Dick.
Just another thought. The big thing that they're going to have to sell, in my opinion, is the blood transfusions. No more liaison committee. No more you get this fellowship if you take a blood transfusion. Now it's a matter of conscience. And then the other one I really think is going to be break the camel's back is the crucifix. In C.T. Russell's time, it was the crucifix. Jesus died on a crucifix. In Rutherford's time, he changed that. Some kind of a revelation right from Jehovah himself. And Jesus did not die on a crucifix. He died on a torture stake. They're going to ease into that one. But once they start telling people, well, we're making an adjustment on the torture stake, we're not really sure anymore. It probably was a crucifix now that we do our research. I'll bet that's the way they're going. And I just have another little, I won't call it a prophecy, but what I think they're going to do is upstate New York with their media center, I'll bet they sell that to Disney, because Disney's corrupt anyway. So I'll bet they sell it dirt cheap to them and take the money and run. Thank you, Rick.
Well, I don't know if Disney wants to move to New York. If you're out there in Florida and California, coming to New York's gonna be a tough ball game. But Dick, you might be right. I never know. Yes, go ahead. You're on with us. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just going to ask you real quick, Rick. If they allow Christmas, okay, like say are you going to send your buddy Garrett Loach a Christmas card?
Well, they did send Christmas cards. If you just heard Shirley, they sent Christmas cards out before. But what do you think, Mike? I don't know if you heard the song earlier. I played it. But,
I heard it.
What do you think? I mean, is this song, is it to you? Is it Christmassy? Is it just?
Well, I was at my dad's. I showed it to him, and he brought it up too. They've never made a. Well, yeah, it's about Jesus, but also I don't ever remember a song talking about Jesus being born and Bethlehem. You know, it's a biblical thought, but yeah, it sort of sounded like something for Christmas. But I'll wait and see on it. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, they've been so staunch on Christmas. If they do that, Rick, if they do, let's say they do it, I think they are going the way of Worldwide Church of God, because I think a lot of people would just say, I'm done.
Well, you're right.
It makes it all look like a joke.
Well, Mike, thank you for your comments. I respect your comments. I always do. I respect your comments. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Let's go to Chewy in Oklahoma. Chewy, you're on with us, Oklahoma. Come on in, Chewy. That's you.
Yeah, I just thought about this week when I heard that song, and it does sound like a Christmas song. I was like saying, I wonder what my mom and her two friends would think about if they were in the convention and they they put that song up, and they were 75ers. I'll call them that. You know, I mean, come on, and waving their hands. I mean, that's pretty, you know. But anyway, I got to start thinking on the Christmas thing. It wouldn't be that hard for them, Rick. I mean, it's kind of, we all know, I mean, they could swing it this way. I don't know how it would be accepted. But we all know that Christmas is not on the 25th. I mean, that's the argument that's one of the arguments we put at the door. So since Christmas is not on the 25th, why not just celebrate Christmas during the time that we think that he celebrated, that he was born, okay, which would be in October, whatever, somewhere around there, whatever. And then you take care of that. Well, you don't have to celebrate it on the 25th. Just celebrate it whenever, and then you take care of his birthday too at the time. So if it's good to celebrate his birthday, why not celebrate them all?
Well, there you go, Chewy. Always good to hear from you. Thank you very much. You had a lot.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm not even going to contest it. You're right 99% of the time, Chewy. You send me stuff every week, and I thank you. I thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to we got a new caller here. Let's go to 860. You're on with us. Go ahead, 860.
Hi, Rick. I think that might be me, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
You asked how our feeling. Hi, Rick. You asked how our, what we thought or what we felt when we first heard it. When John had put that on their XJW analyzer, it was like, I went on it, okay, and I listened, and it's like, you want to know my honest feelings were?
What?
It was a cross between disgust in the beginning. How could they do this? After being so long in the JW community, and it was like, and then immediately after, I had this other response to myself. It was like, are they finally recognizing Christ Jesus? And then I felt like, no, they're not doing this because of that. They're doing this because they want members.
Bingo. You're right, Deborah. I'm with you. Go ahead. Yeah.
It was like, I had the emotions that were going through me. I even cried. It was like, okay. And like I said, in the beginning, it was, how could they do this? I felt disgusted. But when I actually listened to it the second time, I cried in thinking, are they finally recognizing who Christ Jesus is and what he did for us? And then it dawned on me, it's like, no. It's like, oh, unbelievable. You go through a mix of emotions after being in the Watchtower for so long. I can't imagine what these old timers are going to be feeling when they hear this for the first time, if they haven't already heard it. I mean, they know how to go on jw.org and listen to everything.
Well, Deborah, I want to thank you for it really touched you emotionally. I can see this.
It really did.
You had a lot of things running through your mind. I like the thought that you just made a couple seconds ago. Are they finally, I like what you said, are they finally recognizing Jesus? Because I think you'll I think you'll agree, Deborah, that they never recognized Jesus. I mean, he wasn't even. He was Michael the Archangel. He wasn't anything special, right? Yeah. So
how are they going to turn all these things around, Rick? I mean, everything that they did, everything that they said, everything that they promoted. How are they going to ever turn everything around? They're going to lose members left and right now. Watch.
Well, they're already doing it. They're already. You just stop and think about all the PMOs, Deborah. I'm being very conservative. At the onset of the program, I said about 2 million, but I know it's higher than that. I'm almost willing to say that. I think that the half of the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe this anymore. That's what I feel. Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be. Otherwise, why would they be doing all this? And the thing is you have all these, well-known people like Williams and, all these other people who are. Now, we know that she promoted Christmas. She had her daughter in there and everything. doing the Christmas play in New York City. And, it's just like, I wonder if that was any kind of an influence on them. Now, we have to recognize, too, none of these changes went in place until they got those two new Wiener and whatever his name is. I don't know. Those two other guys in there last year.
Well, the two new governing body members. Well, there's so many things.
Right.
So many things. I scratch my head sometimes, as we all do, and we wonder why they do these things. But this is all well orchestrated. This is well orchestrated, Deborah. They don't do anything on the wing. They think about things months, sometimes probably years in advance. But right now they are ready to unleash things that is rocking the witness world. Money. Deborah, thank you very much. Don't you be a stranger. You come back here and see us soon, okay?
I absolutely will. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Time for one more caller. Then we're gonna go with the lady, and then we're gonna go with maybe one or two more calls, and we're going to Jimmy Bell is gonna come on. We see him on the screen. He's coming on soon. Go ahead, sister. You're on with us.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. It's Constance. I was going to say, it's sort of tied in with what several have said, even yourself, Rick. They are rebranding this whole entire corporation. And the reason why they're doing that is because they want to end up being like, when they do their jw.org, when they do their, regular talks and everything, they're trying to be like Trinity Broadcast System and Christian Broadcast System, which are on TV. And, people can listen in and people can make their donations and everything else. These are some huge moves that this organization, this corporation is making, because it is not the same organization when we were all in back in the day. No way, it's not even close. But, they did speak to some consultants, like you've always said, Rick, and they said, listen, you're going to have to ruffle some feathers if you want to keep this corporation above board and be able to still collect money, because people are leaving in droves. And this is the way you do it. And so the changes are never going to stop. They're going to continue, because when you listen to JW updates, somehow that brother has some connections with somebody, top level in Bethel. I don't know who it is, but he keeps talking about the changes that are going to happen in the next 10 years. And it's so very different from anything that we've ever known, Rick. So they're trying to just rebrand so that they're becoming more mainstream like Christendom. That's what I'm hearing. Christmas is huge. How are they going to get around that it's not pagan anymore? It's drilled in everybody's brain. So, it's totally a different organization from what we grew up in. So thank you, Rick.
Well, thank you, Constance. Your source of encouragement. I love how you say it. It's true. We are seeing some monumental changes, and they have to do it. If you had a business, folks, just listen to me for a second. If you had a business and your business was failing, your business was going out, and you're watching all of your life's works, all of your efforts just going right out the window, wouldn't you change? If someone said, this is what you have to do to keep something alive, and that is what's taking place right now. Okay, we get time for one more caller, and then we got to go to
Rick, don't forget me. This is Zachary. I have something to contribute.
All right, Zachary, go ahead. Well, go ahead, Zachary. You're on with us. Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I just woke up and I heard this. I went back and listened to the song, and it does indeed sound like something Christmas song, just the words of it. But I will say this, that they have had a song that was about Jesus before. I know in the 1966 songbook, it was around song number 118, and it was called Christ Our Exemplar. And the whole thing was about Jesus.
Well, thank you for reminding me. I do remember the song. I do remember that. And I did say that, they have had references to Jesus, and that song more or less was about Jesus. But this one is really different. You have to agree, don't you, Zachary?
Well, they're both about Jesus. I think this one uses the words that are more Christmassy. But the old one, the words, I'm actually remembering, What love Jehovah so showed, what goodness from him flowed, when to this earth he sent his son. And then there's a part that says, Christ came as heavenly bread, that mankind might be fed, that life eternal might be won. That's one of the verses, and words come back to me.
Oh, yeah.
But that's from the 1966 songbook. I think it was song number 118. Whole thing was about Jesus. And there was another one in there. I think it was called The Bread from Heaven. It was about Jesus, but not as directly. I think it was around song number 63, The Bread from Heaven. Yeah. So that was it for me.
Yeah, so I mean, you were a man of music. You have studied it. You play it. You do it. I mean, you can walk the walk and talk the talk. So in terms of musical choreographing and everything that would make it sound good, how would you rate this song by the Watchtower?
Well, you give me more credit than I deserve, but I will say that music, the instrumentation, it sounds, quite Christmassy, and again, the words that are used, it's, some of them sound like a Silent Night song. Yeah, it does sound Christmassy, but it's not their first time having a song about Jesus or Christ and the whole thing being about him.
Right. Now that's the difference right there. We've had probably 10, 12 people. Yeah, 10, 12 people come on and say it's Christmas.
I think the old song had was a little better than this one.
Is that right? You didn't find it. Well, that's interesting. No, I take you as a man of music. I take you as a man of music. I know you sing some beautiful songs yourself, but I thought it was a little catchy. It's got that Disney twang to it, So it
is catchy. It's a simple melody. You can pick it up just like that. So yeah.
Well, Zach is always
anybody tells me they might. I'm one of the ones who's more conservative about where they're going. But if anybody tells me that they might start celebrating Christmas, I can't deny anything that someone says they might start doing anymore. After the beards, the women's slacks, the men without ties and that stuff, and after all that stuff has happened, if you tell me they're going to do something, I can't disagree anymore. I just have to wait and see. Yeah.
Well, let me just say this: how would Zachary, who knows the witness world, I mean, he was in it for many years, how would you possibly think that they would begin celebrating Christmas? Let's put it that way.
It's still difficult for me to believe, but not impossible anymore. It is, could they get around to celebrating birthdays? I could see them. I could see them playing around with this idea of Job's kids being, his children having a feast day at each one of their houses. And that's how they were all at the same house and got killed when the storm came, Job's children. I could see them playing with that and starting to say birthdays are okay. And then Christmas is not far away. But I don't know, December 25th has its own history. And the actual date that Jesus was born, I don't know that they correspond. The witnesses always said everything had pagan roots. And I understand those roots that December 25th has better than I used to. I can see it in other teachings. I won't use the word pagan because that's sort of a put down.
Well, Jack, we'll know they'll have a hard time doing. Thank you, Zach. Now, Larry, we got about a minute. Larry, we got about a minute, 2 minutes the most, and we're going to move to Jimmy Bell. Larry, what do you have to say? 2 minutes only, okay?
Very quick. Speaking of songs, what about Taylor Swift? She just came out with a brand new album, Fabulous, Popular, and so on, and she mentions Jehovah's Witnesses in one of the songs she has. So there's a line there that says, who is that man smiling at me in his Jehovah's Witness suit? So long for now.
Well, thank you, Larry. No, I'm glad you brought that up. She just released an album in the last couple of days, and she has 31 songs in the album. Everyone goes crazy, especially the young girls. They love Taylor Swift. But anyways, that reference to Jehovah's Witness that kind of caught my attention as well. I'm not sure why it's in there. I mean, we could. Jimmy's coming on soon here. He's a conspiracy guy. Maybe he knows. Maybe it's a conspiracy of some type. But Jimmy will be coming on with us very, very shortly. Larry, you're a good man. I love to hear from you. Thank you, Larry, out of New Jersey. My goodness. Well, we're gonna bring on Jimmy here very shortly. He'll be coming on with us now. Jimmy Bell, he used to have a program on the six screens known as The Big Picture. And I wanted to bring Jimmy back on with us tonight because Jimmy, he did a video and he's going to tell us about that video. Very, very enlightening, thought provoking. A lot of terms you could put on it. Jimmy does a great job. So we'll be bringing Jimmy on here very, very shortly. Boy, we got a lot of people coming into the six screens tonight. I want to let everyone know that, tomorrow we do a six screen Sunday as well. You don't want to miss it. We start at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We take a spiritual feel on it. It's a little bit different than Saturday night. But why don't you come in tomorrow and listen to some of the programming we have beginning at 1 o'clock. The Knowing God after leaving the Watchtower program will start at 1. And then at 2 o'clock, we have Anne Marie coming back with us where ex-Jehovah's Witnesses share their feelings of being in the Watchtower, this story. And then we do JW World News at 3. And then we have the Christian Court. My goodness. Many Christians have peculiar questions, and we answer them on the Christian Court. That's coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, 4 o'clock. And then 5 o'clock, if you have Bible questions, we have a man named Jay Hess. He at one time was associated with the Watchtower Writing Department, and he'll be on at 5 o'clock tomorrow answering your questions. We're going to go to Jimmy Bell. We're going to bring Jimmy on here right now. So let's bring him on, and we'll add him to the stage. Hello, Jimmy Bell.
Hey, good evening, Rick. How you doing?
Jim, doing good. I'm sorry for the delay here, but my goodness, we have got unusual traffic coming into the six screen. I don't know if you got all your relatives or friends coming in or what happened, but they wanted to come and listen to you, Jimmy. But I got a hold of you today because I thought it was very fascinating. My wife was listening to, and I listened to it as well. But she was listening to a video that you did with John, and that was the Memorial Night. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, Rick, there was 2 videos that we've had out this week, and
right.
One was the memorial video, and the other one was the CO video. They were separate.
Right. So would you talk a little bit about those? It was you got a lot of clicks on that. A lot of people liked what you had to say. I was listening to what the circuit overseer was talking about. That was fascinating. So why don't you fill us in here tonight? Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, before I go into that, can I make a comment towards this whole Christmas song?
Of course.
Okay, so John did a video earlier this week, and before he actually did the video, he went to some of his fellow workmates and showed them the lyrics to this song. And of course, his workmates are not ex-JWs, know nothing about Watchtower. And when he showed them the lyrics, every one of them, I think he showed them like 6 of them. And all 6 guys said that, is this a Christmas song? It sounds like a Christmas song. And so you had that from them, that experience from them. Then he also took the lyrics and stuck it into ChatGPT, and he stuck it into the other AI program, I think it's Gemini. And just by putting the lyrics in, those AI platforms came back and said, this is a traditional Christmas song. So that's what he experienced on that. And I'm sure if any of you guys have ChatGPT or mess with any of the AI, stick the lyrics in there and see what happens. So I thought that was interesting that they felt like it was a Christmas song. And like I said, I don't put it past Watchtower to make more changes. We really do believe that there's going to be a lot more. more geared to becoming more of a mainstream religion. Like Constance said earlier, the Watchtower that we all knew and grew up in and dealt with, it no longer exists. And so, with that being the case, I really don't think that what the powers to be at Watchtower really give a crap about the older generation and what they will think about all these changes. Why? Because these folks that are still in have been brainwashed for all these years. And they're probably just going to bite their lip, suck it up, and go along with it just to stay in because that's all that they've ever known. Now, we do know that there's so many of the younger generation out there, not just in the JW world, but all over the place, that a lot of them don't even want to be in, they don't go to church. They don't attend. Church attendance worldwide has been down for many, many years. And it's been increasing a lot lately. And so Watchtower could pretty much look at these folks kind of as free agents, if you know the terms in baseball, and be like, hey, what can we do to coax this younger generation to come join us? Let's do the beards. Let's do the pants. That's why we feel, me and John have talked about it several times. That's why we feel that birthdays and Christmas will probably be coming on the scene soon, because they're trying to appeal to a younger generation. And if you think about, how brainwashing works and how all that goes, they go after the kids. And then that's what these people do. They go after the kids. And so why wouldn't Watchtower do the same thing? That was my comment on that Christmas thing.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. No, that comment's a good comment, because I'll tell you, everyone that I've talked to, well, like John with all of his mates, his workmates and what have you, everyone that came on the 6 screens tonight, it had a Christmassy song. Now, we weren't trying to be kind of prejudiced or trying to trap the Watchtower, but how else would you look at that? It's like Johnny took it to people that had no idea. They weren't ex-witnesses, and they all identified it as a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Jimmy, we're so glad you came on with us here tonight. And I mean, you and John and Diasis, you're doing a fantastic job out there. You're getting a lot of people listening in. We get a lot of good comments about you, Jimmy, and what you're doing to expose the witnesses, as well as other thoughts and conspiracies. Just for the sake of it, we won't get too deep into the conspiracies tonight, but. Do you see any conspiracies in the Watchtower where they're about Ramapo? Is there anything you can think is conspiratorial about that? I mean, have you dug into that at all? Do you think
actually? I haven't dug into it, but Laurel and Lori are working on something that deals with that. And so once they get that together, I'll talk to them. I'll verify it, because Laurel did tell me that they were working on something about ramp up at the headquarters in New York. So me personally, I haven't done any digging on that, so I can't speak to that.
Well, no, that's good you say that. I'm glad you're honest. But what's happening, Jimmy, is it's really it's very messy. Let's go with that term. It's very messy. It doesn't seem like there's anything even happening there right now. They're continuing to say in a lighter way. They don't come right out and say it all the time, very vocally, but they still are saying it's on track to be built. But we're talking, Jimmy, that thing is anywhere from $350 million to $500,000, million, $500 million, $350 million to $500 million, and that's a lot of money. And there's a lot of things floating around. I see people writing to me, Rick. So if anything you hear on it, would love to hear you. So
the only thing that I will say, Rick, and like I said, I know I say things that a lot of people just blow off and just like, oh yeah, Jimmy's just crazy. But however, I've been doing this since 2020 and putting stuff on my Facebook page. Back then, they thought I was crazy, and a lot of the stuff that I said has come true. I'm not saying that everything will work out the way I think it will, but with Watchtower, if knowing what I do think I know about what's going on in the background with that, I don't think they're going to get this project completed. Now, we'll see if that happens or not. But just right now, that's kind of how I feel about that.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Do you hear me? Okay. This is Becky in North Texas. I know you're a conspiratist, I guess. I don't know how to say that. But so am I sometimes.
I'm a conspiracy realist. I'm a realist.
No, I understand. I understand what you mean. I really do. But I was wondering, do you think they might have had earthquake insurance and they might have known about the fault line this whole time?
It's very possible. Yes.
Yeah. Well, what she's referring to. Thank you, Becky, for bringing that up.
You're welcome. I'm out. You guys talk.
Well, they had an earthquake up there in New Jersey, New York last week, maybe 10 days ago. But the epicenter was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So what we found out about that is it's on the Ramapo Fault. That's what they call it. That runs through New York and New Jersey, and that of course runs right through Ramapo. So that's the reference she was making.
Yeah.
So they bought the land. I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, and there might not even be much of the story, but it was fascinating that they called it the Ramapo Fault. You know, that's what you were saying.
I'll save my thoughts on that for another evening, because that just goes deeper into some other stuff that we've talked about before on the big picture. But you know, you call me to talk about the videos. I mean, I'm welcome to talk about anything, but I don't want to piss off anybody because here goes Jimmy again talking about his conspiracy.
No, we all love Jimmy. We all love Jimmy. How could we not love Jimmy? So we're gonna go with. All right, so Jimmy, the memorial this year. You and John went there, and that was nice. You behaved yourself in a fine fashion. And why don't you give us a little update on how you felt when you went? Were you nervous? Did you? I mean, everybody gets a little jittery, a few butterflies in your stomach. How did you feel about going?
Actually, I was looking forward to it because I was like, even before we went, I told John, I said, this is the most excited I've ever been about going to a memorial. So I wasn't nervous at all. The only thing I was worried about was making sure that our devices would work and we would be able to catch everything. So that's how I felt going in. When we got there, do you want to just share my experience? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, share the experience. Let us know what you felt. Now, I know that you look good. You dressed up in a suit. I think you had a tie on. I'm not sure though. I know John didn't.
Correct.
But did you have a tie on?
I did.
Oh yeah, well, good for you. Yeah, that was good. So you kind of played the role. So give us a little inside story, a little inside understanding of what took place.
Yeah. So what we were wanting to do is we were wanting to be able to get people to talk to us at a length of time that would be beneficial for the audience to be able to recognize, you know, hey, they're having a long conversation. They're just letting them talk. I know a lot of people well, not a lot, but some in the comments were saying, you know, why didn't you fight back harder against them or whatever? Well, one, how many memorial videos have you seen in the past where folks just got kicked out because they stood up and spoke? And, you know, granted, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm not knocking that at all. But we didn't want to go that route. We wanted to be respectful. We wanted to be able to go in to be able to get the information. It's kind of, if you know anything about James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, that's what he does as an investigative journalist. He goes in, he asks questions, and these people just start spilling their guts. So that's kind of the MO. That is the MO that we were going to go in with. And, you know, John, he's a little more animate about things. So when he started talking to what we found out to be was the head, I guess you could call the coordinator body of elder. He was that guy, the number one guy. That's who John was talking with. And so they were getting into a conversation. Like I said, it was before the memorial. So John didn't go too hard on the guy because we didn't want to set off any red flags. With me, yeah, I went old school, suit, tie. I even took my book bag. It's over there. But I had a bunch of material in there. I had all outdated material in my book bag. That was on purpose. And so anyway, so we get there. I have a little conversation in the beginning with the one elder that I eventually talked to after the meeting. John talked. We sat down. We were on the front row. And so we listened to the talk. And I had forgotten they actually have the monitors up top and you have the song up there. So I was kind of lip syncing the song because I was just playing along, you know, because we're up front now. And so during the talk, I actually wrote John a message. I don't have it with me, but I wrote John a message. You know how you pass notes during the meetings and everything. And I said, "Kill me now." Because it was just, it hurt my brain to listen to that guy talk. And so he got to the point of passing of the emblems. And of course, when the guy came off the stage, we were the first people he came to. I took a bite. John took a bite of the bread. Then the wine came. We drank. We did all that. And then just waited for the meeting to end. And then after the meeting, you can see more in the video, the conversation that John had with the elder and that I had with another elder.
Well, no, that in fact, that was really good. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit of video up as you're talking. But what I'm trying to think, Jimmy, it's going to be very difficult going into a memorial for the first time, going into a Kingdom Hall that you haven't been into for many years, and to be able to walk in there and partake. Now, that had to be very nerve-wracking. That had to shatter your nerves a little bit. I mean, did you do it unhesitatingly?
Neither John nor I were nervous about it at all. We knew what we were going to do. We had already made the decision to do it. And once you decide to do something, you're pretty much, for me, I'm not nervous about doing it. You got to remember, I mean, yeah, we all grew up in the Watchtower. We've been in front of people before. We've talked to people before. We talk to strangers. We go into weird areas that we've never been in before. You know, if you're out witnessing and being in sales and just being the way John and I are, we weren't nervous at all.
Well, good for you, because I mean that really ran across my mind. I'm saying, wow, that takes a lot of guts. I mean, I protest. They won't let me go in the Kingdom Hall. I protest outside. But I'm thinking, boy, to walk in, sit down. There are people, I know even when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, it was even a little intimidating. I was of the anointed class. I mean, I'm not saying I was special or anything, but you guys all know I was that. And I would partake. And even that, even for a witness to partake, was like a spectacle. It was a major event. Everyone's, kids are standing up on the chairs and, oh, look at that. There goes the wine. He's drinking the wine. He's eating the bread. I mean, it had to be. Was there anybody else in the Kingdom Hall that partook that night that you noticed, Jimmy?
Where I was sitting, I wasn't able to turn around really well to see the audience, but John was up against the wall, so he could actually turn and look. And he did see several folks that did partake. Now, for John, John said they probably were new people who didn't know any better. And then later on the stage, after they passed the bread and wine to the elders up front and all that, the speaker, the one that John talked to, he partook.
So he did have the speaker himself.
Yes.
So he was the only one that you saw.
Yeah.
Now, last year for 2023, they had 22,000 people partake.
Wow.
Can Jimmy think that 2024, the memorial you went to, do you think the numbers are going to be up, Jimmy?
I think they'll go up. I think they'll go up.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. A lot of people, they're saying, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going to partake. So if the Watchtower doesn't cook the books and fudge the numbers, so to speak, I'm thinking there could be upwards of 25, 26,000. We'll see. Only time will tell. But
I will tell you this, Rick. I watched a video and I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can find this real quick. It's a video I watched where a Christian pastor actually went to the memorial for the first time. Let's see if I can find this and give you guys the link to it. Watch later, not watch later. Sorry about this, y'all. Hang on. History. Where is my freaking history? There it is. Watched it the other day. Yeah, this Christian pastor, he said that he got a invitation in his door, and he decided that he said, well, they're talking about, Jesus, so, and a celebration. So he told his wife, he said, hey, let's go. Okay, here it is. Sorry. It's called A Christian Pastor. Damn it. A Christian pastor goes to a Jehovah's Witness church. This is what happens. If you go to the YouTube channel, Christian Valley Church, that's Christian Valley Church, and it has this little picture of this guy. Let's see if I can get it for you guys. That guy right there. Go check that video out because it's about 19 minutes. And it's his experience of going to a memorial. It was his first time ever going to a Kingdom Hall. It was very interesting. He said those people need to be prayed for.
Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you what, I think it's really great that you and John could do that. I think it was good. You guys got a lot of views. The last time I checked it, you're close to 30,000 views, Jimmy. So,
yeah, and we're letting it run on John's channel right now, and let it peak or whatever it's going to do, and then I'll end up putting it over on my channel too, because some of my subscribers don't know about John. Basically, John and I work together, so you might see something on his channel, and then later on it's going to be on mine, or vice versa. So, and we are going to be re-uploading on my channel the Elder Ambush videos. The first one and the second one, when I had elders come to my door that first year when I was coming out, 2019.
I see you. I'm sorry, Jimmy, just working with some other one. Yeah, no, that's interesting, Jimmy, that you could do that. I think it's commendable that you were able to come on and do a video about that. I just got to shut this off. I got calls coming in here all over the place. But Jimmy, what I wanted to say is, would you do it again? You think you might go to the memorial next year?
I told John. See, I live 3 hours from Lumberton, North Carolina. And who's in Lumberton, North Carolina? Tony Morris. So I told John, I said, wonder what we could do next year. Maybe we can figure out what congregation Tony Morris goes to, and maybe we'll go to that memorial.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you, my wife was watching this today. She was very impressed, Jimmy. You do a very good job. You're a professional guy. Thank you for doing what you do in exposing the Watchtower. You're making a difference, Jimmy, and
I appreciate that.
You put a lot of effort. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you have any questions about the CEO video?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, that's the one that got our attention. So go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Yes.
Okay, so just real quick, that video was done in July of 2019. Now, mind you, I had only been awake from Watchtower for 7 months. And so I had 2 sets of elders on 2 back-to-back weekends come visit me. Those were the elder ambushes. Those are the ones we recorded. And then 2 weeks later, I get a call from the coordinator saying, "Hey, we got the circuit over Syria and we'd like to come visit you." I said, "Bring it on, come on." And so I immediately got off the phone with him, went to Lowe's, got signs, surveillance signs saying, "Hey, this area is being recorded. You're on camera, blah, 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 blah." And then I set up my iPad on the table and started recording. And so a lot of folks have said, "Is this real or is this staged?" Okay. I staged it really, okay? Meaning I set everything up to catch it. So it was a real video. It wasn't staged. They didn't know they were being recorded or anything like that. But I set everything up so I could catch them. And that CO, if you watch the video, you'll find that the faces are pixelated. But if you just looked at the expressions on this guy's face when I was asking him questions, he was just squirming all over the place. And the two biggest takeaways were when I asked him about the UN and he said, "Oh, we're still involved with the UN." That's the one that shocked me the most. And then the next one was, "Oh, when you're talking about CSA, oh, it's okay to have sex with kids in Australia and you don't have to report it." So he did say that. Later on, we talk about the beard situation, which is kind of interesting to listen to, considering now that they've changed the beards, how he was defending Watchtower's stance on beards in 2019. It's very interesting to look at how that plays out. It's very interesting. I did find out through some of the comments on John's channel that this CO was disfellowshipped not very long after the video came out.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, because I thought it was kind of unusual that he would say the things he was saying and think he could get away with it. But somebody caught it and said, "That's it. Enough is enough."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have sent an email. I sent my email address to the person that made that comment because I want to get more information on, how did that happen or whatever. And they say they know him. So I'm just waiting to see if they'll reach out to me because I'm going to try to get an interview with him.
Jeez, I'll tell you, Jimmy, I'm trying to put together. We got a convention that's going to happen up here in Boston in August of 2025.
I've heard you talking about it.
Yeah, and I've got so many people that are going to be coming up. I can't believe it. So, this is the type thing, getting a person like that or, an ex-circuit overseer or a district overseer or even some official from the Watchtower to come. That's what we're going to be working on. But, that's a tough thing to do. But you never know. I mean, some of these people become renegade and say, "That's it. I want to spill the beans." So we just don't know what would happen. But thank you for kind of giving more ideas here. So some of these people that have left that were, pretty high up on the Watchtower circuit overseer. I mean, they're high up. They people respected them and they kind of lauded it over everyone. To have someone like that speak at a convention would be really remarkable. Really remarkable.
That would be cool. That would be cool. If there was any advice I could give to folks that, talking with Jehovah's Witnesses or, they come to your door or whatever the case may be, let them talk, ask them questions. I know that too many times, and I'm guilty of it in the past, is just jumping in and this is this and this is that. And what about, but if you play like a wounded sheep or like, I just need help. Please help me understand this. And just play that part. You'll be amazed at how much you can get these folks to talk.
Oh, amazing. Well, listen, Jimmy, I want to let you know, too, that if you do make it to the convention, we'll have to see what happens. But if you do come, you do have a slot to speak. So I want you to know that, okay?
Wow. Well, thank you, Rick. I really appreciate that, sir.
And John, too. I want him to know, and Diasis as well. I mean, people know you, and I'm trying to get as many people as possible to that are known on YouTube. I mean, so many people. Jimmy, it's been a proliferation of people exposing the Watchtower. I think it's fantastic. all of these people coming out. It's just, it always hasn't been this way. But now we have so many people that are speaking up, including you and your little group. And you're a good man, Jimmy. I don't want you to ever change. Thank you for coming on and being with us tonight. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome, Rick. Thank you for having me.
All righty. Okay, we'll be in touch with you, Jimmy. Keep standing tall. Don't you ever give in, up or out. Don't ever change either, Jimmy. I mean that.
Thanks,
okay.
sir.
All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, there you go. That's Jimmy Bell. My goodness gracious. Well, he has a lot to say about the Watchtower, and I'm certainly proud to be a friend of Jimmy Bell's. Well, anyways, my name's Rick Farron. I'm here tonight with you folks on the 6 screens of the Watchtower JW World News. We still got news to talk about right here on our news network, and we're so glad that you're with us tonight. So let's take a look. I wanted to mention this. We got a brand new program coming up next. Connie and Dick couldn't come in tonight. DNC is not going to be on with us, but we do have a pilot program that we're working with. It's called Lighthouse After the Storm. Josh Rivera out of San Antonio, Texas. He'll be coming on, and well, he's had a program here before on the 6 screens, so we have him filling in for Connie and Dick tonight, and I believe we're going to be hearing a lot more from Josh. He's quite the guy, so stay tuned. Around 9:30, we bring Josh Rivera coming in from San Antonio, Texas. So don't go anywhere. He's a former Jehovah's Witness. Got a lot to share with us tonight, right here on the 6 screens telenetwork. So let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. I want to talk about Temu. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say Temu? Do you have a Temu account? Well, I have one. My beautiful wife, Susan, has a Temu account. Now, what that is like Amazon in China, but they have a lot of really little inexpensive gadgets and gifts and crazy little items, pencils, pens, trinkets, you name it, they have it on Temu. So what I'm going to do here, just give me 1 second here. I want you to see some of the things that are being sold on Temu. I find it very, very fascinating that Temu is selling a lot of Jehovah's Witness paraphernalia. Now, you know, the witnesses, I mean, the Jehovah's Witness organization, Watchtower, has got to be aware of this to some degree. Let me just see if I can't find this here. Just give me a second. I'll find the Temu stuff. All right. Okay. Just give me a second here to find some of this Temu information that we have, because some of these little trinkets you'll find very fascinating. In fact, it's almost to the point of ridiculousness what being sold for Jehovah's Witness paraphernalia online. So I want to thank my wife, Susan, for sending me this week. And there's everything you can think of. The Jehovah's Witnesses are buying all these little trinkets, badges, pins, buttons. It's kind of like idolatry when you stop and think about it. You know, they've always condemned the Catholic Church for, imagery and the cross. But now they have all these little gadgets and gimmicks and pins and buttons, as I say, with jw.org on it. So let's see if we can share that. Let me do that right now. I want you to see it. So we do have that. Let's share it. Let's bring it on here right now. And you can take a look at it. Let me just see if we have that up here. I just want to make sure that is on. All right. Okay, it's not that. Let's get rid of that. Hold on 1 second. I just want you to see some of these gadgets they are now selling on Temu with jw.org on it. It's crazy stuff. So let me just get in here and see this. All right. I think you can see that right now. Look at that. That's a little pin. I think you can see that on our StreamYard platform, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. So there you go. There's a little jw.org pin. Let me move on here and see if we can get another one up. Well, these are little pins, keychains, pens, all these little trinkets that the Watchtower is actually trying to sell you. Now, I don't know if it's Watchtower themselves, but it could be private people doing it. But the Watchtower evidently is allowing them to do it. So that's very fascinating to me when you think about it. Let's see if we can't get another one up here. Let's do this one. There you go. There's another little pin. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's on there right now. And that's another little pin. But they have all these little pins. They even have a sound car. But isn't this somewhat idolatry? Well, wouldn't you say that? I mean, they're willing to really step out and, well, the Catholic Church and people wearing crosses, you shouldn't do that. But here the Watchtower is doing the same thing with their JW little pins and trinkets. It's really disgusting to me when you stop and think about it. Anyways, it might not be showing it there, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So, Timo, do you have a Timo account? You can see it. Punch in J, Jehovah's Witnesses. You'll be surprised at all the trinkets and gadgets and little gimmicks they're selling on that website. So I want to bring that to your attention. So let me just stop streaming that right now. And yeah, so that was fascinating to me. I wanted you guys to see that. Excuse me. So anyways, I want to talk about something here as well tonight that was going on this week on the 6 Screens of the Watchtower Facebook group. If you're not a member of the 6 Screens of the Watchtower Facebook group, sign up for it, become a member. There's a lot of things you're going to learn on there. But what we have is, and really is a little troubling to me, we have a woman known as Smurf Girl. Now, many of you people know Smurf Girl. She goes by Veronica. It's not her real name, but I'll just say it's Veronica. I don't want to embarrass her or in any way spill the beans on her. But Veronica has been a good friend of mine for so long. Veronica actually even had a program, Watchtower After Dark, for 2 years here on the 6 Screens. And for some reason, like 2 weeks ago, she was praising me. Oh, Rick, my goodness, you helped me with my case. She had, sad to say, Veronica has gone through an awful lot. Her uncle was murdered by another one of her uncles. And I mean, it really was troubling to her. But for some reason, Veronica, as you folks have probably seen on Facebook and even YouTube, that Veronica has kind of turned against me. And, I don't know why. I would like to have, if Veronica's listening in tonight, I'd love to have her come on and talk. She does listen to the program. But she's been posting online that, I'm a bad person. And then she's also attacking Bill Bowen. And for what a reason, I do not know. I have no idea. But, poor Veronica has suffered a lot. And I am willing to understand that. So I just wanted to make it known to the audience tonight that Smurf Girl is making some attacks on me and Bill Bowen. But, I don't feel they are justified. I really don't feel that these attacks are real attacks in the truest sense of the word from what she's saying. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention tonight. And we wish Veronica the best. We really do. I know she's been undergoing a lot of stress. Yes, Dick. Yep.
No, I'd like to comment on what Veronica was saying.
Yeah.
Because I was there when your former wife, Arnez, was sick. I knew her 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 years before she actually passed away. And I'd just like the audience to know that it's my opinion that you were an outstanding husband, a true Christian. I saw how you took care of your wife. It was glorious the way you did it. It was just absolutely fabulous. And I think Veronica is probably mentally ill, or Satan's throwing thoughts into her mind. But I just want the audience to know that I was there. I was there when Inez's body came back from the mortuary at the hospital, and I was just there. I was in your orbit a lot in those days, and you were an absolute outstanding, loving husband. I can't say enough. You really impressed me how well you took care of her. And, I don't want anybody to say that I'm on your payroll or something like that, because I'm not, never have been. I think you're the best of the best. I just want the audience to know that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dick. And I don't want to, I just wanted to say to Veronica, that, Veronica, it's you got to really be sensibly minded on this. If there's proof, she is accusing me of many things, even falling short of me murdering my wife. I mean, I don't know if this is Veronica or not. Maybe it's some Watchtower operative, but certainly something's not right here. Something's not right. So we wish Veronica the best, and whatever's going through. I know she's suffered a lot, so she's undergoing a lot. So I'll cut her some slack on that. But Veronica, if you're listening to this program tonight, I know she's done YouTube videos here. She's done Facebook thoughts and writing on it. And I get a lot of people writing me, Rick, what's going on with Veronica? So I had to mention it tonight. I'm not doing it for sensationalism, but I feel a little bit, I really feel bad for the woman. I really, really do. Yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Rick. I was part of your program. Well, I didn't have a show or anything, but I was one of your regulars back when Inez was alive, and I remember how all that went down too. And you were a great husband with Inez, and you did take good care of her. And I don't want anybody to have any negative ideas from anything Veronica might have said about anything regarding you. I really think that it was Mike and that one that she was playing, and he kept interrupting and doubting everything and making snide comments about her. And I think maybe she mostly just heard that because you did a great job, I thought, defending her with him. And like you said, I think she's had some major crises and trauma in her life that has really and this murder, this triple murder, just really, I think, pushed her over the edge. And she does need our prayers and thoughts, and to try to, help her get through some more rough times that she's been going through emotionally. And I wish her all the best also.
Well, I agree with you 100%, Debbie. I really, really do. And we love Veronica. She's my friend.
Oh, yeah.
She's my friend. And I'm not, I just understand that when you have a lot of turmoil and trouble, a lot of things can be said. But, I seen this coming across. I had people writing me, so I wanted to address it, but not address it in a derogatory way. Veronica's still my friend. And she just might have ran a little ahead of herself or something. But also, I understand she's attacking Bill Bowen, too. Bill Bowen's an innocent man. This guy has done so much to expose the Watchtower. So, but I'm gonna cut her slack. I mean, she's certainly my friend still. I'm not gonna disconnect from her. I just think something's happening there that she doesn't have the whole picture on. But thank you, Debbie, for saying that.
But sometimes when people get really stressed out, they do and say things they don't really mean, and I think she would take it all back when she's doing better,
Yeah, and we'll get it back on. We'll get it back on.
Yeah.
I was
So
thinking.
I just wanted to put in a positive vibe to her also. So we look forward to hearing her again sometime.
Well, we love her. She did a very good job when she used to come on the sixth screen. So we'll get it back, and she'll be okay. I'm sure. We ask that things can go well for her. Thank you very much.
And Rick, you're such a great guy. You handle things so calmly, and you're always having to keep your cool and everything. And it just amazes me. I'm like, God, if I could just harness a little bit of that calmness, I would love it. But that just doesn't seem to be in the cards for me. My brain goes 90 miles an hour, way ahead of what I'm doing. But then I also, will snap back real quick and get irritated.
Well,
so good.
Well,
you're great with that. I really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate Susan because I know she's in the background doing lots of stuff too. You both do such a wonderful job, and I think you, through the grace of God, He's helped you and blessed you with this platform, and I think you've been able to help thousands of people, and I think a lot of us would be dead if it wasn't for you. Thank you, Rick.
Well, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you saying that. But we have a network here. We have a network. We have 14 different programs, and I have to also say these guys are making a difference. These guys are making a difference too. All of them are working hard to expose the Watchtower. Okay, let's see. We got Peter. Peter, you want to come on? Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
Rick?
Yes.
Hi, honey. I'm driving, so I just wanted to say, Rick, it's very hurtful when somebody says something that's so cruel to such a loving, kind, forgiving Christian man that you are. We were informed of Facebook. We've been so busy this weekend with everything we got going on, and that's why we're on the freeway driving right now. But I just wanted to say it was very hurtful to hear about it, and then when I read it, I really loved Debbie's attitude. That was really sweet. But Rick, of a loving, very kind, forgiving person. And I just think that says, volumes about the kind of man that you are and your character. And of course, my husband knows you very, very well. He knew Inez, and I never had the opportunity to meet you or Inez then, but you've been a very, very loyal, faithful husband. I mean, not too many men, Rick, take care of their wives when they're sick and they're dying. And you're one of the few, and it just says so much about you. And it just really hurts my spirit when somebody's lying and saying, what was it? Something to the fact that you were the cause for your wife's death. I mean, that's so ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense, but it's very painful when people falsely accuse anybody, right? Because even the scriptures say, do not ever falsely accuse your brother. That's very serious. So, I know it sounds like she's going through a lot. We've all gone through a lot, Rick. We love you very much. And you're just the most incredible friend that we can ever have. You've been a blessing to me. I know you've known my husband forever, and he's known you for a very long time. But when I had the opportunity to meet you, Rick, it was like, oh my gosh, what a gift! What a gift you are to, to me and.
Well, Constance, I thank you very much, but I have to say that I do. I love Veronica. Yeah,
I know you do.
No, in fact, she.
Sure.
I've talked to her numerous times off of the program, and I feel so bad for her, and I love the woman. Gee, she's been so instrumental. Sure. She's had a program, so I just know that something's not clicking. But I'm sure it'll be all resolved. Right. So I'm gonna just let it go at that. So thank you, though, Constance. I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, thank you. That.
Well, I was just going to say this, sweetheart, and then Rich wants to say something. I'm on the freeway here, but I was just going to say, Jesus said the greatest of these is love, right? To faith, love, and hope, and the greatest of these is love. And that's exactly what you have, Rick. And I just wanted to say thank you. Rich wants to say something.
Yeah, Rich, I just like the audience to know something else. Is that a man like yourself who's going to spend somewhere between $50,000 and $20,000 of his own money to rent the auditorium, that comes out of your pocket. And the point that I want to make is that takes a lot of love. And that amount of love is what you gave to Arnez. I saw it. I saw that with my own eyes. I saw how well you took care of her. As Connie was saying, it really did hurt us. Veronica, and I'm sure she's having mental issues. And that's not such a bad thing. I get PTSD. It's a mental issue. But what she said was categorically untrue. So I hope nobody in the audience is casting aspersions on your character or on the love that you had for Arnez. Because I saw it. You loved that woman dearly, and you treated her like a queen. And it just really gobbled both me and Connie. We said, yeah, the woman's mentally ill, and she's going to come around. We're going to pray for her. But you're a very gracious, honest, sincere guy. He just galls me when people give you a hard time. That's all I want to say.
Well, no, that's a mouthful, Dick. That's a mouthful. But thank you for saying that. But I want you to know something too. My new wife here, I love her. We've been married for 10 years, and she is a wonderful, and I treat her just as much respect as I did Inez. I believe, in fact, maybe not everybody agrees to this, but I believe that's your first obligation. If you're a married man, the first thing you do is you take care of your wife. You make her priority one. That's my feelings. Maybe not everyone feels that way, but I did that with Inez, and I'm certainly doing it with my beautiful new wife, Susan. I love my girl. Yep, she's a good woman. Thank you.
You know, Rick, you've always said that, honey. You've always said that on the air. And you know what? People can say whatever they want to say, but it's the words. It's the action behind the words, right, Rick?
Yeah.
So you definitely have exhibited that. And, Rich is the same way with me, too, as well. So, you set a great example for my husband and others, honey, on the air. I mean, I remember, Rick, and I'll just be brief, but I remember when I started listening to you around October 15th, somewhere around there, maybe that was October 15th, maybe it was the next year, Joe Mason was on and all that. And I remember I was jaded. I was jaded towards men. I was jaded towards a lot of men in the organization because the way they treat women, I'm being honest, I have no problems with saying that, of what the organization did, for me to how I felt about men. And anyway, I loved one time, Rick, you came on there and I was skeptical of you and I'm skeptical of all the other men listening in and talking. And you said, oh, brothers, you need to treat your wife like a queen. And Rick, I almost fell off my chair because I couldn't believe what a beautiful heart and man you are. It almost makes me want to cry. Because it was like, it just changed my whole attitude about you and coming out of the organization and how you respect women so much. So thank you, Rick.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, I grew up, I come from a family I had 4 daughters. I was the only son in my family. I had 3 sisters. So, I know women and I know that they have been suppressed and I know that they have been beat up on. But I have to tell you, Connie, you got a good man there with Dick too. He's a very good man. And he's I know that. Well, he's a good man. I have to tell you. I have to tell you, I love Dick. He's a good guy. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up tonight. I wasn't trying to raise any issues or raise the, course not. But I just wanted Veronica to know, and she certainly is welcome to come on in the future and talk. But I don't hold anything against her. We'll iron this out. Not a big problem.
We love her too. We love her too. We love everybody on the show. Yeah, we love you and Susan.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, anyways, you're on 6 Screens, JW World News. My goodness, I want to bring that up to you guys tonight. The duck, Josh, you hold on. We do have Connie and Dick won't be on tonight. They're on the road traveling, as you can hear. But we do have a pilot program that's filling in for Connie and Dick tonight. Josh Rivera out of Antonio, Texas. So he'll be coming on with us here very shortly. Hang on, Josh. I just want to talk about a couple of other things here to get through all of this. Let's talk about the duck. I don't believe anybody said the secret words tonight. Now, I have a sealed envelope. You can see the sealed envelope. And what I want to do is I want to give people I got some beautiful books here that I want to send the people. They're Watchtower publications that have been reprinted by Lulu. Also, some Watchtower publications that have been printed by apostates exposing the Watchtower. So anyways, I got the books here. No one said the secret word, I don't think, unless someone can refresh my memory. But let's open up. Let's take a look at the secret words. I'm going to give you guys some clues. I want to give these books away. They're sitting on my shelf. I have 50 of them here. I want to give these books away. So I'm going to give you some clues. We do this at the end of the program every week. So I want to give you some clues on to what the secret words were. Now, we have a duck. If you guys can remember the Groucho Marx show, do you remember that? And he had a duck when he used to do the interviews. I'm talking back in the 50s, probably late 50s, early 60s. And Groucho Marx used to come on and he had a duck. and the duck would come down and give $100 if someone said the secret word. So we have people calling in all night long. And did anyone mention the secret word? Refresh my memory. I try to listen in as close as I can, but I'm going to give you guys some clues. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook is very hard for me to watch all of that. But if you're on YouTube and you're calling in on a telephone line, let me know if you have this. If you have the word that we have a secret tonight. So let me just say this. I'll give you a clue. The first secret word, no one mentioned it tonight, but it was one of the meetings. It was one of the Jehovah's Witness meetings that we went to. Anyone want to take a shot at it? Go ahead. Just hit *6 if you're on a telephone line. One of the Jehovah's Witness. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the service meeting. No. So go ahead. Let's go with another one. Books, but someone wrote on. Someone wrote on here on. The memorial book study. No. Keep going. It wasn't the ministry school. Give me a meeting. Give me a meeting that we went to.
Special talk.
No, not a special talk. No. Go ahead. Keep going. We got the secret word. Ministry school. No.
Tuesday night book study.
Tuesday night. No, wasn't that. I'll give you a clue. It had to do with a magazine. It had to do with a magazine.
Watchtower study.
Watchtower study. Who said that? Who said Watchtower study? Who was that, Eric? Eric, send me your physical address. I got to get your physical address. I got a nice book I'm going to send out to you, courtesy of our good friend Nathan Natus. I got a nice book. I think you'll like it. Make sure I have your address. I know I have it here somewhere, but if you could send it to me again, it makes it so much easier.
I'll send you an email. How's that sound?
Yeah, send me an email. Thank you, Eric. You got it. Hold on one second. Let's see what's going on here. We got a lot of people.
Wide open. Nothing there to stop anything.
Who's that?
Totally stupid. And what would you got to do here along with me? Okay?
All right, let's get rid of that. Yeah, so let's go to the next. We got the next secret word. Eric just won a book. So let's see if you guys can win another book. So another secret word. Well, this was one of the books that we studied as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and man, it was boring. It was boring. It was a red-covered book. Can you give me the title of the book?
Revelation.
Hold on one second. Dick, go ahead. What you say? Paradise Earth? No, that was orange. Go ahead. This was a red. This was a red book. It was boring.
Revelations.
No, not Revelations. No, we studied that a number of times, but this was an older publication, probably going back to the 1970s.
The truth that leads to eternal life.
No, that was a blue book. That was blue. Let's go with a red book. A red book. Yeah, go ahead.
Babylon the Great book.
Babylon the Great. Is that you, Thomas?
Yeah. Babylon the Great.
Babylon the Great's the answer, Thomas. You got a free book, okay? So send me your email. Thomas, can you tell me a little bit about Babylon the Great book? I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible.
That's what I heard. Very boring.
Very boring. Well, thank you.
You want me to email or you want me to send it?
Send it an email. I'll get the book out to you. Let me know, and I'll send you a great. You're gonna be a happy man, Thomas. A very happy man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I love you, Rick.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Let's go. We got a few secret words here tonight. Let's go with another one. Okay. So the secret word, nobody said it, but the Watchtower constantly talks about it. They constantly scare people about it. What's the term? What's the term?
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Is that you, Eric?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that's you. That'll save me on postage, so I can put two books in the same box. That's
Rick's the businessman.
Man, I forgot to hit *6, and I said that I've got the last two right, and you never heard me.
I never heard you, Debbie. All right. Debbie, you won some
Well,
books last.
I'll tell you what, Rick, you send me the books, and I'm going to send them to Debbie because she'll read them and she can tell me
Debbie
about
won
them.
some books last week, but she never sent me her
I
physical.
know, but I didn't hear anything back. Y'all, you don't ever, I don't think you ever get my emails. There must be something wrong with my
Well, it must be because you have to send me your email where you live, then I can send it to you. Other than that, I don't.
Yeah, I do.
I didn't
Yeah,
get
I've
it.
sent it several times,
I did not get it.
even at Christmas.
Well, send it again to JW World News because you got a bunch of prizes. I want to send them to somebody, and you might as well get them. You can use them, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them. I just never got any answer from you on anything. So
All right.
I did send you my address.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know what happened.
send it again to.
Works just fine. I can do it for Debbie.
Well, no, because I'll take care of the postage. Don't worry, Eric. I appreciate you wanting to do that, but Debbie's got some books coming. So if Debbie just gets,
I'm gonna read them and then I'll send them to her.
all right. So let's go to the next thing. All right, let's go to the next word here. I mean, this is secret words. No, I can't believe it. Someone said them tonight. I've been listening closely, but it's hard to really monitor all the words. But if someone said they said it, I'd like to know. Okay, so here's the next secret word. Put your thinking caps on. Secret word in the Watchtower. Well, you went out every weekend, at least on Saturday. What did you do?
Field service.
Preaching work.
Field service. Debbie, you got it again. Debbie, I mean, I'm glad you're winning because that's saving me on postage again, So that's good.
Well, at least you can send it on media mail and it's cheaper than regular mail.
I couldn't believe it was cheaper. In fact, when I sent the book, I sent the book out, a while back. I didn't realize Susan mentioned, send it by media mail is cheaper, but it cost me like $9 to send one book. But I was able to send a couple of books. I sent some out to Dick and Constance. They won last week. It was only like $7, so that wasn't too bad to send 2 books.
I learned that when I was in business years ago.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So yeah, I'm here watching. It's been a while. I can't believe I'm in here. Just want to know what time do I actually start? Because I'm kind of multitasking here.
Okay, you're starting in just a few minutes, Josh. Just a few minutes, so hang in there.
No rush. I'm in no rush. Just let me know whenever you're ready. It doesn't have to be any specific time. But I'm here backstage, just getting myself ready here.
Well, get yourself ready. I'd say in about 5 minutes or so. You're coming on. So we're looking forward to your program.
No rush, no hurry.
Lighthouse after this. Storm, yeah.
Yeah, when we start, I just need some time, just me and you to kind of like shoot the breeze a little bit and just catch up on the history of what led us to here. So
we'll do that.
I'm gonna back off here and just wait till you let me know. I'm here. I haven't used StreamYard like this with you, so I don't know what to do. I think you see me.
I see you. You're all right. I see you backstage. You're all right. Josh, you are on the ball, Josh. So thank you, Josh. So Josh is coming up next. That's Josh Rivera coming on next with his Lighthouse After the Storm, filling in for Connie and Dick tonight. Don't go anywhere. You want to hear this man. He's got a lot to talk about. Okay, we got one more word. I want to give some books away. We want to give the books away. So I'm going to give you one more word. I'm going to give you a clue. They came in many colors. You want to take a shot, anybody? They came in many colors. Tracks, no. They came in many colors. I'll give you another clue.
Justice Code.
No, I got some more clues here for you. Some people say that it's not good. It's a Watchtower publication. I mean, all of the Watchtower publications aren't good, but this one, some people really say is bad. It's really bad. All right. Any thoughts? All right, let's move on. New book. No, let's go with this.
Yearbook.
No, not the yearbook. I'm going to go with this. It first came out in numerous editions.
It's the New World Translation, Rick.
The New World Translation. Who is this? Brian, you won a prize. I'm going to send you a great book, Brian. But you're in Canada, right?
What's the book?
Huh?
What's the book?
Well,
Yeah.
we have a number of books, but if you're in Canada, right? This is Brian from Canada.
Yeah.
I can't send it to Canada. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Maybe
this is isn't this discrimination or something? Isn't this some form of
well, it could
persecution?
Well, what it is, I had a lady that won some books, and I went to the post office to mail them off, and you should see it was like a 10-page thing I had to fill out. Are there any?
Yeah. What is the book, Rick?
Well, we got a number of books. Millions Now Living Will Never Die. That's one book.
Okay. Well. Hang on. By who?
Well, it's written. That's a Watchtower publication. It's a reprint.
That you don't want to know what?
Yeah.
That is one publication which I actually don't have. I do not have that. I've got just about everything else. That one I do not have. Where'd you get it?
Yeah, just hold on one second, Brian. Let me get him. Well, that actually a man by the name of Nathan Natus. I can't give his real name, but he's a former Jehovah's Witness, and he was nice enough. He's had a bunch of the old Watchtower publications reproduced on Lulu, which is a publishing company, and he has sent me. I've got right now a bunch of publications, and I'm going to hold this up.
Okay, I'll tell you. You know what? So is that an original or is that a reprint that he's done?
It's a reprint, but everything is verbatim. Everything is exactly the way it was.
Okay.
And there's
I have a U.S. Address where I have some stuff shipped to a special address in Sweetgrass, Montana.
Well, do that,
and I will get that for you. I'll call you back on your cell phone, or I'll email you one.
Well,
of these,
just email me the address at jwworldnews@gmail.com, and I'll get you that book. And also, I'm going to send you another book. I got 3 or 4 books I want to send you. So we got so many good books. I know you will enjoy reading them, Brian. Thank you for calling in. Okay,
right.
So we'll get you that. Get your address. And I'll get them out. Thank you. Yeah. All right, so there you have it. My goodness, so the duck came down and we gave all these books. I love this. Nathan Natus is going to love it. He wants me to give these books away, so we're doing it here on the 6 Screens. Friends, we have 6 Screens Sunday tomorrow, and we're looking forward to our program. Why don't you come in beginning at 1 o'clock tomorrow? We take a spiritual field on. It's a little bit different than what we do here on Saturday night, but we're looking forward to you coming in tomorrow beginning at 1 o'clock p.m. right here on the 6 Screens Tele Network. We do have, now listen, if you like this program, why don't you like us on Facebook? Why don't you share it? Why don't you subscribe to a channel on YouTube? We'll get the message out. We'll get the message out that more and more people can listen to what's going on in real time right here on our network. So thank you all for coming in. We have a brand new program starting in about 2 minutes, so hang in with us. Josh Rivera, he'll be coming on tonight. He's coming back with us. He was with us a few years ago. He's out in San Antonio, Texas. You got a lot to talk about tonight. He'll be coming on in about 2 minutes. Don't leave our channel. We'll be right back. Give us about 2 minutes. We're going to end the program here, and thank you for everyone coming into the 6 Screens tonight with JW World News. Stay with us.